My screen real quick.
Yeah.
Just one last look at the disclaimer, everyone. All right, thanks, Steve. You can take over the screen now.
Yeah. I guess the question was where can we go to look up upcoming earnings? If there are a lot of stocks coming up or a lot of companies that are set to report earnings, where do we navigate? And on the website to see a schedule of, stocks that are expected to report earnings. So one place we could do is under earnings. You have a calendar. So we can check from our calendar. And here, what you'll see is that you have different dates up top. So we're on July 29th, but you could go July 30th and so forth. And there's a count how many stocks that we picked up on that are expected to report earnings. Okay. So today we have 79, July 30th, 161, July 31st, 291. So you can see it's going up. August 1st, the big one, 329. If you just move forward, like say July 29th, you click on that, then you get a list of stocks that are expected to report July 30th. And here we have them sorted by market cap. However, you can, sort them alphabetically, by expected move. Once the option volume and so forth starts populating, you could sort them by that. If you have a watch list, you could filter out by your watch list. So just click it, select one of your watch lists, and it'll filter out this calendar by your watch list. If we might as well just kind of stay on here and go over this calendar view of what's included. So here we slide down, you'll get your stock symbol, the name of the companies. This is McDonald's, reporting date July 29th. Then you have time of day. And this is indicating if the company is reporting before the market opens. So that's before 9:30 or after the market closes, which will be after 4 o'clock. So that's important because, if you have July 29th reporting, well, if it reports before market opens, we're going to see the earnings, and then the market will open, and that will start trading after 9:30. That already includes the report, right? That will already take that into consideration because the news is out. And you could see here McDonald's already issued a press release, 7 a.m. So if you click on it, it'll take us to the press release, and this will show us McDonald's reports second quarter earnings results, and then you could read about it. Here, see a newswire, and you could read about it, and you could analyze their report. So in addition to that, we have this conference call. And here, this lets us know that July 29th, 8:30 a.m., McDonald's is scheduled to have a conference call. And during that conference call, management will give additional information about their earnings. They may answer questions. They may issue guidance. They could, give more color to the press release and to the financial statements. So that's as important, maybe even more important than the actual financial statement itself, because you want some explanation, you want some context, some color, and what's going on. How do you see the future? The management discussions, notes, interviews, that's extremely important. That may actually, be what investors could be focused on most is, well, what does the management say? Because you could come out with a number that looks bad, but if the management explains it, or it's due to this or this, and it's going to improve next quarter, the stock could still do really well. Or you could come up with a really good number, but then the management will explain it, this and this, and we're seeing next quarter guiding lower, then the stock will go down. So that conference call, if they're holding it, could be extremely important, and that is something that you want to keep in mind. And here, what we see is that the report, the earnings release, is before the market opens, and so is the conference call. So a lot of this information is already coming out, and we're seeing that activity in the pre-market. So in the pre-market, so far, we're up 1.1%. But the idea there is that it looks like that data and information is all coming out before the market opens. Sometimes there's a gap between the release and then the stock could trade, and then you get a conference call. So like over here, you on EQR, for example, the earnings are expected to be released today, July 29th, after the market close, after 4 o'clock. But there's also an indication that there's going to be a conference call the next day, July 30th, at 11 a.m. So why is that important? Well, you got like 2 events in here, 2 events that could potentially move the stock, and it could actually move the stock even in opposite directions, depending on what is said, right? So now you have this earnings report, perhaps a press release, and then you have the, earnings per share, you have, all these financial statements. They're reported after the market close, 9:30, the market opens tomorrow, stocks are trading, and we have this financial statement to look at. Well, then 11 a.m. comes around, right? So from 9:30 to 11 a.m., you have the stock trading based on that information. Well, now 11 a.m. comes around, and the management is going to have a conference call, and now they're giving you additional information. They're providing you with some more color or context of the financial statements. They may answer questions coming from analysts. They may give guidance. We don't know what they're going to say. That's still an unknown. So looking at that, you have to consider that the stock has almost 2 potential catalysts there, and we don't know if what's said in July 30th and what's reported in July 29th. We don't know if something that's said could change people's minds. It could even reverse what people priced in. So that's why we look at, is there a press release and a conference call scheduled, and what is the time of day, time that these are expected to get released. Okay, so this one, you could see everything's before the market opens here. Here, now we have 2 different events that could potentially impact the stock. And again, once you see this press release, right? Once you see this populate, that means we detected a press release. This is the timestamp, 7 a.m., 8 a.m. This one came out 1 a.m. And then once we detect it, we start tracking what the stock is doing. So this, so far, ON Semiconductor is up 6.5% in the pre-market. We haven't opened yet, but it is trading already in the pre-market. You can see that there was a report press release at 8 a.m. Stock's up 6.5%. closed just at $70.17, right? On July 26th. Then we had the weekend. There was a press release this morning, so you could see July 29th. The last price we had was $74.75. So it's up 6.5% so far on 409,000 shares traded. What was the expected move up or down? So the expected move based on the straddle, up or down, that was 9.6%. So the straddle was implying 9.6%. It could still do that. So far, it's up 6.5% in a pre-market, but that's within or inside the expected range. And then we just show what the stock did previously. So you could see the previous earnings, the stock was up 4.1% on the day after reporting earnings. So those are just quick references as starting points. This option volume will start populating once the options are open. It's on a 15-minute delay, but once we start getting the data, putting it into our database, crunching the numbers, it'll show us what is the option volume in this stock. And then you got the market cap of the stock over here, which you could sort. Okay. Another thing you could do is, let's say you use the stock screener and you saved a certain screen. So see this filter stock screener? This is based on if you created a certain screen from the stock screener. Hold on. So I'm going to go to the stock screener over here. And let's say you created a certain screen, like, I don't know, let's go to, I'm going to go to price and volume. So you can see here that we have different filters. And under here, let's look at moving average indicators. So for moving average indicator, you pick something in an uptrend. Okay. So click uptrend. Now you got all these stocks that are in an uptrend, 3,300 out of 11,000. And you want to just save this because you just want to track uptrend. Just come here, save it, give it a name, uptrend. Now you have this saved. Okay, it'll pop up in here. So now that you have this saved, and you could pick multiple filters. Now that you have this saved, you could use it in other places. So if I'm on the earnings and I just click on it and just find my uptrend, it'll filter out this list. So I'll use one of my stocks option here. So here's one, VRNS. Stocks in an uptrend reporting tomorrow. Here you go. Okay, so that's one way that you could use a filter where you're filtering out from a different filter. Okay, you filtered something out from the stocks. You gave it these different conditions, and then you want to use it in a different report. This is how you can do it. Okay, let me take that out of here. Another thing is the confirmation is, did we pick up a press release that they're going to announce earnings? And if we didn't pick up a press release, we could be projecting it. So projected is these stocks over here, we haven't yet heard from the company that when they're going to release earnings, because we track their press releases or or we'll go to their investor relations websites. But if we don't know, we'll say, well, approximately about now they usually report. Because those usually you get some kind of quarterly report that's within historical range. So that's the projected. announces we picked up a press release somewhere and that we're referencing. We could also filter by stock price. Some people don't want high price stocks. Some people just want low price stocks, but let's just say, or you want higher price stocks. If you just want stocks that are above 25 bucks, let's say, you could just do that. And then this will filter out here 25 out of 112 that stock prices are above 25 bucks. Okay, let's say below 5. Now you got all these stocks below 5. So if you click on this info sheet, you can see this is a $2 stock. Right. So this info sheet allows you to get more information on this particular stock without leaving the page. Okay. So you can see here, it's a biotech stock, $2.90. You can read about it, charts, history, and so forth. You have these tabs to go through. And the idea there is that if you filter something out and you don't recognize it or you want to know more about it, just open up that info sheet and then you have quick, information about the stock. Okay. Let's take that off. Go to any. If you're looking for options with an average volume, average daily volume of a certain amount, because traders use options during earnings. That's a popular time to use options. And sometimes you want to look for stocks that have a certain daily average. Maybe, if it only has a daily average of 10 contracts, it's not interesting because there's not a lot of trading. Markets are probably wide. It's harder to price those options. So this will allow you to look for stocks that have an average daily volume above a certain amount. You could look for below 2, but let's say above 10,000. So once we do that, you see now there are only 16 stocks that have average daily option volume above 10,000 that will be reported in earnings tomorrow. Microsoft, Procter & Gamble, Merck, AMD, and so forth. So let me uncheck that. And then another thing, I'm going to come back to July 29th for a second. So this is today's activity. There's this time of day. You could look at before market opens, or you could look at after market closes. And then there's another filter that by request, where people ask, well, what about if I'm looking at today, and I want to know which stocks will report after the market close, because I could still analyze those options and perhaps do a trade before the earnings, right? So you have all day today, but the same goes for stocks that are going to report tomorrow before the market opens, because today will be the last trading day that you could look at the options and analyze them before the earnings. Because if the stock is reporting tomorrow before the market opens, and you want to do something in the options prior to earnings, then you have to do it today. Tomorrow's too late, because tomorrow it will report earnings before market opens, and once the market opens, it's already priced in what the new the earnings release is already going to be priced in. So we have this filter here: today after market closes, or tomorrow. Today after the market closes, or tomorrow before the market opens. So see here, July 29th, that's today after the market close. July 30th, that's tomorrow before the market opens. For doing options strategy or an options trade, essentially it's the same. You would need to do it before today's close. So that's this page here. Also, if you just wanted to download, you can download this page to analyze it further. So, well, I'm almost up at 9:30. I'm probably going to just stop right there.
Yeah, that was a great walkthrough, D. Awesome job. Sorry about the background noise. Picking up trash today here in Florida. So sorry about that. I'm glad the show was able to go off while I'm here. Awesome job, Dima, as always, my friend.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Stay safe out there. Have a great trading day, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow.